the one thing with Seattle, with the Mariners, going into this offseason, it's not like, because Jerry DiPoto, I listened to him talk the other day, and it's not like they're not trying to push and make moves and everything else. I think their biggest advantage, you got the number one farm system in baseball now, which is huge. I know, look, if any Mariner fans listen to this and they want to roll their eyes, have at it. I'm fine with that. But when you have that kind of, that kind of leverage in your farm system, we all know, and you have that starting pitching, 5 guys last year that were really dominant, arguably the best rotation in the game. Then you have some leverage. So I think, in my opinion, I feel like they went in that route in regards to, okay, we can bring guys over here potentially via trade. They love to have the controllable players. Pete Alonso, that his name came up, that just is not a fit for what they want to do for multiple reasons, beside the fact that fans just want to see, some big splashy multi-year deal. Like the last guy they did, Mitch Garver, a 2-year deal, but the last guy was really a Cy Young Award winner, and that was Robbie Ray a couple of years ago, and they ended up trading him away. But I think for them, the push this winter was big on that trade, or getting that big trade, whether it be giving up one of their starting pitchers, or giving up, some guys in the farm. And they have had a bunch of plenty of requests. Obviously, that's public, but they've had some proposals that for them, they're just not ready to pull the trigger on. I think that, I'll be honest with you, and I know Jerry DiPoto, he said this a couple of years ago when they got Gino Suarez right before spring training, and they made that big move to fill their infield up. I think at this point, when you're talking, February into March, teams start to get desperate and those trade packages start to change. So I think you'll still see that one last move for the Seattle Mariners right before spring training, and it'll be a good, talented player, hopefully an offensive player. It may hurt a little bit if they give up one of their starting pitchers, which I'll be honest with you, and David, you know this too, mate. Like, there is no way these 5 guys you just had in 2024 are going to repeat like they did in 2025, because it just doesn't happen. Like, they got some luck last year. Even with Emerson Hancock just kind of filling the gaps with Brian Wu, who was sitting out here and there. It just doesn't happen. So I can see one of their starting pitchers, whoever makes sense for them, and I think those trade packages are going to get a little bit better for them. Even though the spring training's around the corner in just a couple of weeks, but you may see something right before spring or during spring training. But they kind of have to go that way of trade. But yes, they have money. But I just think when you look at some of the free agents out there, it's like, what really makes sense? You're going to have to overpay for someone, and they just don't want to do that. They just don't want to overpay.